What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of From the Green Room. My guest tonight is the drummer from the band Coldwards, Paul Crosby. Paul, thank you so much for joining me in the green room and chatting with us. And how are you doing tonight?
Thank you so much for having me. I am most excellent, man. I'm kind of going same thing you're going through. My dogs are looking at me like, "Hey, Dad, it's dinner time, man. Get me some food."
Right. Well, the beagle will eat. The pit bull protests because my wife's at work, and he'll sit there and pout until she gets home, and then he'll eat. He won't eat
Yeah,
for me. So
my
he
dogs are both daddy's dogs. You know.
the beagle doesn't miss a meal, so he don't care who feeds him as long as he gets to eat. Man, your current band consists of you and your two boys, Zach and Sean. How cool is that to share the stage um, with them, but and play music with them as well?
It's pretty epic, man. It would be, I guess, every musician dad's dream come true. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uh, that's it's very very cool, man. I'm actually very blessed that they want to be in a band with their dad, because
Right.
most kids, when they get older, they don't want to do stuff with their parents. It's not cool. But I'm also glad that they let me be in a band with them. So
Right. And didn't make you do like carry their stuff in, or you can help us, Dad, but you can't be in the band. I mean, you're in the band, but you can't be in the band.
right, yeah.
Was music something they always loved because you were involved with music and stuff like that, or they? I mean, were obviously they were around it a lot when you were with Saliva and stuff like that. So, at a young age, did they get into music?
They both were into music at a very very young age, and I don't know if it was because I was into music or if they just genuinely liked it, because um, I never really coerced them to. They just kind of did it on their own,
Mm-hmm.
and they were both musically inclined, like right from the jump. I remember Zach won a talent show in the little town that he was living in whenever he was about 8, and he beat like even the adult categories. And
Wow.
we at that point, I didn't even know he sang, and I didn't even know he like wanted to be a singer. It
Mm-hmm.
was just one day he was like, "Hey, there's a talent competition and I want to enter it." And we're like, "Well, Zach, what's your talent?" And he's like, "I'm gonna sing." And we're like, "Oh, okay, cool." So we went to it, and kind of like not really knowing that I guess he'd been practicing on his own.
Wow,
Um,
that's cool.
and then he got up. We were just going there to support him regardless, and he just got up there and slayed it. And he like won first place and beat like all the adults.
I bet the adults that have been doing it for years are like, "What the heck? We just got beat by an 8-year-old."
That's right.
The band's new single, "Bad News," was just dropped. Tell us a bit about that track, and yeah, tell us a little bit about it.
It is our current single, our first single off of our what will be our new EP, which is also titled "Bad News." Um, it's basically some lyrics that Zach actually already had about a former bandmate that he was a group he was in before, and they kind of had a like a falling out, and the other person basically always tried to make Zach feel like he couldn't do anything without him. Like
Hmm.
you're like it's all me. Um, that's basically the gist of what the song's about. Sean, I think I came up with like the little intro keyboard parts, sent it over to Sean. He kind of revamped it and came up with some really, really cool guitar riffs. And then we sent it over to Zach and he just like lit it up with those amazing vocals, man.
That's awesome. Awesome. You mentioned this is the first track off your forthcoming EP, also titled "Bad News." You guys gonna release any more tracks off that new EP?
Absolutely. It's going to be 5 songs. We're going to release at least 2 more singles, maybe 3, and then drop the whole thing. It's kind of like the new format. You just
Yeah.
release singles and then, drop the EP, and then all of those streams and views and stuff will combine into the EP. Um, you know, our first record, our debut record is called Bloodwork. You should check that out as well. It
Mhm.
had 10 songs and we released a few singles off of that as well. But obviously back in our day, bands would release a whole album and we would
Right.
get it and we put it in and listen to it front to back. People don't really do that anymore. The music listening audience these days seems very ADD,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
by releasing singles like that, you make sure that all the songs get some attention. Whereas, if you just drop a full length album, a lot of the songs aren't going to get their due diligence. So it's just a smarter way to do it to make sure that all of the songs get a fair shake. And it helps with the algorithms of Spotify and
Yeah.
Apple Music and YouTube and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah, it's crazy how, like you mentioned, like back in the day, I used to get CDs and I would get a whole CD and listen to it like you said front to back, and maybe catch on to a song that they didn't play on the radio or they didn't that didn't get a lot of airplay, and like why aren't they playing this song on the radio? And then months down the road, you would hear it new track from so and so band now playing debut, and I'm like, man, I've been listening to that track for months since the CD came out. What's wrong with you people? Like, but I get why the bands nowadays and almost every band I interview now is that's the way they do it. They release the track every 6 weeks or 2 months or every month and a half or whatever, and leading up to the EP. And some of them I talk to don't even release an EP. They just release tracks.
really,
Yeah, and
yes,
so I mean, hey, whatever works nowadays. I mean, it's we all know. I mean, you probably know better than I do. It's expensive to um, produce music and to to release it out there on print CDs and albums and all that. So
yeah. What's odd, man, is I was always the type of dude that liked the songs on albums that weren't the singles.
mm-hmm.
But and also for us, as far as producing music, I also taught the boys from a very young age how to like work recording software and stuff too. So we record all of our own stuff. They do their stuff at their house, and I do. Me and Richie Hayes, the bass player, and Michael Freese is the other guitar player. We track the stuff here at my place, and then Zach and Sean track their own stuff. We we do our own editing, and then really our only expense is to pay the guy who we have mix it, Jonathan Dolise. So we're fortunate enough that everyone in this band knows how to record.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bands don't have that
Right.
capability, so it could get real expensive for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I imagine. I mean, with anything, if you had to have the equipment to do all that and the programming and stuff, that's probably the know how. You probably just like with this, doing the interviews and editing them on, in Adobe. It's just a matter of repetition and trying to learn what you're doing and getting it right.
Absolutely. Practice makes perfect.
Right, right. So with only a few months left in 2023 and looking into 24, what's next for you guys besides dropping more music and leading up to that EP?
We got video shoot set up for next month for what will be our next single. That song is called Flatline, and it's actually about Wayne Sweeney from Saliva, who
Mm-hmm.
recently passed away.
Yep.
One of my best friends. Um, but as far as the band goes, we're going to probably do just a handful of shows this year, and we're looking at trying to do as many festivals and more shows to support the EP in 2024 at this point, since like you said, 2023 is coming to an end and we just got started on this EP cycle. So
Right, and
we're
got
going
holidays coming up and stuff like that. So
to,
I noticed sometimes I feel like the music industry shuts down a little bit before the holidays until then, try to get that family time in since everybody's busy.
it does. And also, what I do full time for a living is I have a band artist management company, PCM, Paul Crosby Management, and I even let all of my clients know. Even I shut down about December 15th to 18th till about the
Mhm.
second week of January. Pretty much the business side of the industry shuts down for that amount of time. So
Yeah.
there's not really a lot going on.
Right, right. I think, yeah, I'm shutting down for a couple of weeks. You're my last interview for about probably a month, so um, I wanted to make sure I got that in because I was looking forward to talking to you. Um, so where can we find the music and what's going on with you guys?
Um, the music is on all digital, streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube. Anybody listening, go to our YouTube channel and check out all of our. There's, I think we have 5 videos from our last album, and then obviously Bad News. If you dig it, hit the subscribe button. A lot of people don't realize that because we are an up and coming independent band. Even though I was with Saliva for 20 some odd years, this is like starting over.
Hmm.
So, as many people know, streaming and all that, it doesn't really pay a lot, but YouTube has really good royalty rates. So, if you enjoy a band, hit subscribe to their channel because that it really helps them out with income. Um, but yeah, like I said, we're just gonna drop singles every couple of months until we get this EP out, and then hit the road on it.
Awesome, awesome. My guest has been Paul Crosby of the band Coldwards, and new song "Bad News" out now. Find that on all your streaming platforms and check them out and find out what's going on with them at coldwords.com. Paul, it's been great chatting with you, man. Thanks for stopping by, and let's catch up again and let's do this. Let's do it again soon. Next release or something. Well, let's talk again.
That's a deal, man. I really appreciate you having me.
Awesome.
Recording stopped.